And now for video number 2. Belarus in full-blown hyperinflation panic. Blocks news, blocks online stores, bans all Forex trading for 2 years. We have to do something with these Belarusian rebels, exclaims one person as she shops to turn worthless rubles into physical assets. As AFP reports, the Belarusian currency was dragged down by the slide of the Russian ruble last week, leading authorities to impose draconian measures, forbid price increases even for imported goods, and warn people against panic. Now, however, in an effort to stem the flood of hyperinflating domestic prices, i.e. not imported items, authorities have blocked online stores and news websites to stop the run on banks and shops as people scramble to secure their savings. One of the blocked news websites noted it, quote, looks like the authorities want to turn light panic over the fall of the Belarusian ruble into a real one, calling the blockages December insanity. And indeed, they have stepped up the insanity, extending the halt in Forex trading as well. So keep in mind, let's go back to that first part. Impose draconian measures, forbid price increases even for imported goods. So, example, your country imports, I don't know, food items. You know, something you gotta have to live. You know, the staples, wheat and corn and whatever, you know, things that don't grow over there, and they're importing food like a lot of countries do. And whatever used to, you know, a dozen eggs, not sure, they probably got some chickens over there, so maybe that won't affect them. Loaf of bread, cereal, everything that has wheat and things in it, like almost everything, used to cost you 10 rubles to buy a box of cereal. Now, what they're saying is you're not allowed to increase. I know that the currency just got cut in half, so in theory that $10 box of cereal should immediately cost $20 rubles. But since we're the government, we are telling you you are not allowed to increase the price of those products and keep them, you know, keep things going. Just incur the losses for the time being, basically, as a business who will not survive. But we got to do something. So just no price increases. So then the store owners and the whether it's a restaurant chain or mostly in this case grocery store, we're going to talk about that because again, the last place someone's going to go is a freaking restaurant when their currency just got, you know, just imploded. Oh yeah, let's go out for dinner tonight, honey. No. Let's go to the grocery store before our currency devalues even more and start buying canned goods and things like that that we can store for a while before the damn currency goes even further down the black hole. Not go to a restaurant. Exactly. So what that is saying is anybody that sells food, grocery stores, I don't care what you have to pay to import that stuff. Whatever it is, please continue doing it. Take the massive loss and just continue stocking the shelves full of the same items for the same prices. Okay, so let me get this straight. You want me to try to sell something for 10 rubles, because that's what it was last week and yesterday before this happened. It's now going to cost me, my own cost is $15. I should be selling this for minimum of 20. But you're telling me, the government, you want me to spend $15 on each of these boxes of cereal as a grocery store owner, spend $15 but sell it for $10, showing a net loss of $5 per box of cereal, in which there are lines outside the store right now buying all these types of things that they can, because it will last a little bit of length of time before you open it, along with canned goods. And the same thing applies to all these soup items, all these canned goods, beans and green beans and all that stuff, corn, canned corn. Can of corn used to cost, I'm just making this up for the point of this, but 4 rubles. It now costs me 6 rubles to buy this, and I would like to sell it for 8 or 9. You're telling me I've got to keep selling it for 4 rubles. It's costing me 6. Yeah, we understand that. So, brilliant government people. What is supposed to happen to the grocery store chains when they just are told you take a loss, and because of the losses, that means everything you sell in your store, almost everything in that store is now going to be a net loss instantly. Well, as a grocery store, how do we survive as long as we can? Gonna have to start cutting people. But wait a minute, you're going to start cutting people when you're probably going to be experiencing more consumer demand because people are going to want to secure what they can with their money while they can. And canned goods and things are a very great store. So we really need more personnel, more employees during this rush of people. We got to survive. So since we're taking a loss on all the canned goods, we are going to be bankrupt here in the near future. But we're going to extend ourselves as long as we can by simply cutting wages and workers so that we can at least last a little longer. The end of the story, the end of the situation here is that any company's they're going to fold anyway. So why are you sitting here prolonging the inevitable with more pain and suffering? You want to send a message to your government? Shut it down. Pull Chef Ramsay, Gordon Ramsay. Shut it down. Oh, what's that? Grocery stores are also, this certain chain of all grocery stores are shutting down. You guys are already bankrupt? The losses hurt you? No. No, we don't want to go bankrupt. Which is why we're shutting down. Because it ought to light a fire under the government's rear end via the extremely hungry and pissed off citizens that will be promptly knocking on their politicians' personal doors, personal home, to let them know their dissatisfaction with the decision that they've just made. Because the grocery store is shutting down. Because here's the thing, the citizen loses in either case, right? Because the citizen doesn't want to go to the grocery store and pay twice as much sometimes, or at least 50% as much than what they just paid yesterday for anything. Whether they're going to the store to buy a freaking TV or to go to the store to buy food. Anything they want to spend their money on, they're not going to be happy knowing that prices just increased dramatically overnight. But they're not really going to want to deal with even something far worse than that, such as I can't even go to the grocery store to buy the stuff because it's not open. They're protesting at the grocery store. The people that work there and the company itself is in a protest, and that's why they've shut the doors. Which will be followed by the government stepping in and forcing them to open the doors. As you would recall, I can't remember, was it Venezuela or Argentina that did this not too long ago? And it was one of the, I want to say Venezuela, but it was an electronics store, remember? And they said, we're just going to close down. And the government said, no, you're going to stay open, and we're going to send government forces there to open your doors. And they did. And the place promptly got looted. Looted as in walk in, bust in, take stuff, and leave for free. No payment. So I wonder how that worked out for that electronics store. Not too well. So you could do the same thing to a grocery store. Same result. We're shutting down in protest. No, you're not. It's illegal to protest, so keep it open. Okay. Keep it open. Okay, now we have to close because we can't pay our bills. Then what? Same result. So the solution is, it reminds me of how doctors, we were just watching a documentary, my wife and I, how doctors treat things like cancer. They don't treat it. Nobody they only treat the symptom, and the symptom is cancer. You have something fundamentally wrong with your body, and it's most likely something within your diet. You're not giving your body the proper nutrition so that it can heal itself, which is what it was designed to do. Therefore, cancer shows up. Oh, I've got an idea. Let's cut out the cancer. Let's poison the cancer with chemo and radiation. Oh, doctor's famous words, as they said, it looks like we got it all. Yes! Cancer-free. Reminds me of my wife's friend's mother. Facebook. Got cancer, breast cancer, guys, pray for me. I'm going in. Okay, yeah, got our prayers. Let's go. Oh, they got it. Oh, thank God. Thank you for the prayers. A few months later, oh my God, guys, it's back. Cancer, it's back. Same breast. Going in, pray again, please. I need prayers. Okay, pray some more. Next. Got it all. Definitely got it all. What do you suppose happened next? If you have weeds in your garden, that's the problem. How do you get rid of the problem? Oh, I have an idea. I'm gonna cut the base of the weed, just cut it to where this much is sticking out. I'll cut it out. I'll cut the weed out. Okay. Why is the weed growing back? I don't know. I'm a doctor. I cut it out. It's because it just keeps growing back and back and back, and there's seeds from the weeds, and they just keep coming. So there's a problem. How do you deal with the problem? And that's how government from top down works. Don't deal with the problem. Oh, what's that problem is? Everything's skyrocketing? Gotcha. No one can raise prices. Okay, that doesn't deal with the problem. Why did the ruble collapse? Why are these prices skyrocketing? They're skyrocketing because our currency collapsed. Why did our currency collapse? Out of nowhere. Just because the Russian ruble crashed shouldn't mean ours does. We're not the same. They have their own currency. Sure, it's called the same, but that's theirs, Russia, and this is ours. Why all of a sudden is it crashing? How does a currency crash? How does a currency worth $100 today, let's just say US dollars, let's say a ruble was worth $100 US dollars, and all of a sudden it gets cut in half, it's only worth 50. Or in other words, no, that's reversed. Your 100 rubles, yeah, actually that'd probably be good. Let's make this a little easier though. 100 of your rubles are now worth, it takes 150 to, let's just double it, 200 rubles to buy the same thing. So I used to be able to buy something with 100 rubles. Now it takes me 200 rubles, literally overnight. What can possibly change in any country on this world, on this planet, that overnight can be devalued that much? There's only one thing that makes currencies lose their value, and that is how much has your government, that country, printed. So if you lost even 50% of the value of your currency overnight, that means you've just increased your money supply by practically double. Whatever it was all these years, the amount of money you've had out there, the amount of money you've printed since day one of being that country, has just doubled. Therefore, you lost half of the value. That's the only thing that can truly cause currency devaluation. So how is it that the United States of America still has the same valuable dollar in purchasing power terms, they say, right, as we did in 2009? Generally speaking, look around. And in 2009, we had $9 trillion in debt that we printed, right? 9 trillion. We now have 18 trillion, and our currency is perfect. It's flawless. right now at least, right? How is that possible when Belarus didn't do anything and their currency just got crapped on? I'll tell you how they do it. It's not supposed to work that way. The way I just described it is how it's supposed to work. The more money you print is how it affects the value of your dollar. And believe me, they didn't just print double of what they've had all these years in one night. Forex trading. The same way that they control the price of gold and silver and wheat and corn and everything else on the commodities market, it's all through these paper contracts. And whoever owns the most of these paper contracts, doesn't matter if 1% of the population is playing the silver game and the gold game on paper. I've got 99% of the contracts in my hand, 90% of the contracts in my hand that are out there. Paper contracts. The rest of the world, you get to play with 10%. So at any given time, I can dump these and have from my left hand and have my right hand via a subsidiary or just another too big to fail bank buy them up as I'm selling them. So now my partner, me again, has the same amount. But since I flood the market, those little 10%ers down there, none of them combined had enough to buy what I just sold on the market. So the price fell, my buddy bought them all up at that lower price, and now they're sitting on them. And when we need to do the same thing, they'll sell them off and give them back to me. If you have the same process in the Forex market where you can trade these paper products, basically I'm going to open a contract today in the Forex market for the Belarusian currency, and you flood the Forex market. See, while Belarus may have shut down FX trading there, Forex trading there, you didn't shut it down for the whole world. Everyone, we're still going to do it. We're still going to trade it ourselves. Because all it is a bet. We're just trading bets back and forth. What do you think the value of this currency will be today? Oh, we're going to make a bet on that. And that bet is that huge pile of paper that you can throw any direction you want, or just hold it in, rein it in if you want the price to go up. If it goes up too much, then dump it out, price goes down. So if you flood the market with all these Forex contracts the same way you do the COMEX market with gold and silver contracts, you thus cause a crashing in the value of a currency, when in reality, the only thing that should be crashing is the bet on the currency. Just like the bet, the price that people are betting on gold and silver futures contracts, should be what crashes, not the actual real price of gold and silver. The problem is, we're all told that's how you set the price. Whatever the market says the price is what the price is. And how does the market work? Through these paper contracts. Oh. That's how you have a currency collapse nowadays. When you have a country, the United States, that does not get affected by these things, and all these other countries that do, what does that tell you? You ought to know who's doing it. I wonder which country is causing the problem. Oh, probably the one that doesn't get hurt by this at all. Who's printing more money than all of these countries I've just mentioned that had these problems combined. And our dollar is pretty much the same right now. There's no way that that's just going to last. It's not going to happen. That pain and suffering is going to come here. Because when they unleash the dollar and get rid of it, because they want their new world order currency, they have to make you, as an American, feel some very serious pain like these other countries are feeling. But it just goes to show you, when it happens, it was all planned. Because if we can get by it now, while all these other countries are dealing with it, and we're fine, why can't we continue doing whatever it is we're doing, right? If they're just printing money, print more money. You control the price of everything. That means you could make our 18 trillion turn to 36 trillion. And our dollar today could still kind of sort of be normal. Not really affected. But what happens when the rest of the world decides we don't like America's systems, the markets, everything you got, we want something else? Oh, Russia and China, you guys are already building that? Yeah. Yeah, since you guys have been in charge of America, We've had 3 currency collapses, and nah, we're going to try this route now. But we still have to feel that pain over here, because they still want us to have our new currency. It has to be backed by gold and silver. They have to get rid of this old dollar. It's been overinflated and blown up for too long. They can't just do it out of nowhere and say, oh, by the way, you're going to wake up tomorrow and there's a new currency. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to feel some serious pain so that you beg the government to make the pain stop. And they'll say, okay, well, we have a solution. We just thought this up. In reality, it's been on the books for years. New currency, new world order, one world currency, or maybe just the North American currency. Since the rest of the world doesn't want to play with us, we'll have Canada, Mexico, us, you know. Remember the old Amero thing? It'd be interesting to see how it goes down. But when that pain is felt, and you have to feel it for this to happen, you can be rest assured gold and silver are going to be the place to have your money in before this happens. As I've said a million times. Take care.